Most people think they are weak because they cannot stick to habits, but the real problem is usually the system around them, not their character. When your environment, routine, and schedule are random, every action demands fresh willpower, and that willpower runs out fast. Japanese-style discipline shows that when you fix the system first, even average people can maintain impressive consistency. Most people try to feel motivated before acting, which makes every task feel like a psychological battle. When you depend on mood, any bad day, stress, or distraction is enough to destroy your routine. The real shift is to stop asking, "How do I feel?" and start asking, "What is my next fixed action?" In Japan, discipline is treated more like train tracks than like a heroic fight. Once the tracks are built, the train just follows them. It does not renegotiate the route every morning. The goal of this video is to show how you can build similar tracks in your life so that taking action becomes almost automatic. If you want to build this kind of disciplined track in your own life, make sure you subscribe right now so you don't miss the next videos in this Japanese discipline series. From an early age, Japanese children learn discipline through well-defined routines. They help clean their classrooms, organize their materials, and follow strict schedules. This builds the idea that responsibility and order are a normal part of life, not occasional punishments. Over time, these patterns sink into behavior and feel natural. At work, many Japanese companies use methods like 5S, Kaizen, and regular reviews to keep processes stable and predictable. Instead of depending on each worker's goodwill, the system reduces errors, simplifies repetition, and makes the right path the easiest one. Discipline becomes less about heroic effort and more about good design. What makes this model powerful is that it combines three elements: clear routines, prepared environments, and meaning behind actions. When you know exactly what to do, have everything ready, and understand why it matters, resistance naturally decreases. This is what the 7 rules in this video will translate into your daily life. Kaizen is the Japanese principle of continuous improvement through small daily changes. Instead of chasing dramatic transformation in a short time, the idea is to advance by about 1% each day, letting progress quietly accumulate. This reduces internal pressure and makes it much easier to start, because today's target always feels light. When you apply Kaizen to a habit, you do not ask, "What is the maximum I can do today?" but "What is the smallest action that still counts as progress?" That question kills perfectionism and fear, because it is almost impossible to fail at something very small. The brain accepts tasks more easily when they do not threaten the ego or require huge energy. Over time, these 1% gains compound into impressive growth. A few minutes of daily reading become entire books. Short workouts become a stronger body. Small savings become a real financial cushion. Procrastination loses its power because the entry barrier is always low. To apply Kaizen, start by choosing a goal and shrinking it into a ridiculously small behavior. If you want to read more, make the target 1 page. If you want to exercise, make it 3 minutes of movement. The rule is simple. If you look at the action and still feel resistance, it is still too big. Next, attach this micro-action to a fixed trigger in your day, such as after breakfast or right before your shower. This turns the task into part of a sequence instead of a random item you must remember. The aim is not to get tired. The aim is to build daily consistency. Once the micro-habit feels too easy, you can gently increase it while keeping that sense of lightness. This way, your brain never feels ambushed by effort, and the habit grows almost without drama. Over weeks and months, you will realize that what was once too small to fail has become a powerful routine. Shitsuke can be understood as self-training. creating standards of behavior and routines so clear that they become automatic. In Japanese schools, students are not only taught rules, they repeatedly practice them through cleaning times, organized lines, and shared responsibility. The repetition builds internal discipline instead of fear of punishment. For personal discipline, Shitsuke means deciding in advance how you act in specific situations. For example, at 7 a.m. I sit at this desk with this notebook and write for 15 minutes. There is no daily negotiation, only execution of a pre-decided standard. Over time, this self-training turns behavior into a default mode. You start to feel off when you skip the routine, just like a student who is late for class feels out of place. That discomfort then works in your favor, pushing you back into your disciplined pattern. One of the most powerful ways to apply Shitsuke is to lock 3 variables: time, place, and sequence. For example, every weekday at 7 a.m. at my kitchen table, I follow this exact 3-step routine. When those 3 elements are fixed, your brain quickly starts to predict what comes next. A fixed time removes endless decision-making about when to start. A fixed place trains your body to associate that location with a specific behavior. A fixed sequence, step 1, step 2, step 3, keeps you moving forward without thinking too much, like following a choreography. This structure makes discipline feel less like a fight and more like showing up for a script you already know. Instead of wasting energy arguing with yourself, you simply step into the role and let the routine carry you. Shukan refers to habit and routine, doing the same behavior in the same context until it becomes automatic. When something becomes Shukan, you do not need long internal debates, your body simply moves. Think about how you brush your teeth at the same time every day without motivation speeches. The key to Shukan is repetition in a stable context. If the time, place, and sequence are always changing, the habit never gets the chance to sink in. But when the conditions repeat, the brain links the cue with the action and gradually moves it to autopilot.
This is the real secret behind disciplined people. They do not wake up heroic every day. They just build habits that carry them even when they feel average. Your goal is not to become superhuman. It is to let Shukan take over more of your important actions. Your morning is the perfect place to install Shukan because it sets the tone for the whole day. Instead of waking up and immediately checking your phone, create a short, predictable routine that always runs in the same order. Think of it as a train track your day starts on. For example, your track could be wake up, drink a glass of water, make your bed, 5 to 10 minutes of movement, 5 to 10 minutes of focused work. Once this sequence is fixed, you stop asking, "What should I do now?" and simply follow the track. The goal is not intensity, but reliability. Even on tired or stressful days, you still run a shorter version of the same track. Over time, just starting the first step will naturally pull you into the rest of the routine. If you want a concrete example of how tiny Japanese habits can transform your day, watch the video suggested here on Japanese micro-habits after you finish this one. It will show you exactly how to apply these ideas in your routine. Osoji refers to thorough cleaning, and seti is the idea of sorting and removing what is unnecessary. In Japanese culture, cleaning is not only about hygiene, it is about resetting the mind and environment. A clear space supports clear thinking. For discipline, these principles show that it is easier to change your actions when you first change what surrounds you. A cluttered desk, constant notifications, and visible temptations silently pull you away from your goals. An organized, minimal space quietly pushes you toward focus.
Instead of relying on pure willpower to resist distractions, you pre-decide what stays and what goes. The fewer temptations you see, the less energy you need to say no, and the more energy you have to say yes to the actions that matter. To design a discipline-friendly environment, start by removing obvious obstacles. Put your phone in another room while you work, delete or hide distracting apps, and keep only essential tools on your desk. Your space should make the desired action the easiest option. Next, make sure the things you need to start are always visible and ready. If you want to read, keep the book open on your pillow. If you want to write, leave your notebook and pen on the table where you will sit in the morning. Lowering the startup cost is crucial. When your environment is set up this way, discipline feels less like forcing yourself and more like following what is already prepared. You do not have to be perfectly strong. You just need to walk the path you laid out in advance. Gaman is the ability to endure hardship or discomfort with patience and self-control. It does not mean ignoring your limits. It means choosing not to escape at the first sign of difficulty. This attitude is deeply respected in Japanese culture, from school life to work and sports. For your habits, Gaman is what keeps you sitting for the last 5 minutes of focused work when your mind screams to stop. It is what helps you finish the short workout even when your muscles start to complain. Those small moments of staying build a new identity. I am someone who can handle discomfort. The key is to practice Gaman in small, controlled doses instead of waiting for a huge crisis. Each time you stay a little longer with the discomfort, you weaken the link between "this feels bad" and "I must stop now." Gradually, your tolerance and confidence grow together. Ikigai is your reason for getting out of bed in the morning, the intersection between what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. It gives ordinary actions a deeper meaning. When you touch your Ikigai, discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like alignment. When your habits are disconnected from any sense of purpose, they feel heavy and fragile. But when you connect your daily actions to people you care about and to the future you want, it becomes much easier to show up even when you are tired. You're not just doing tasks, you're honoring something important. A simple way to bring Ikigai into your routine is to write one clear sentence that links your main habit to a bigger why. Read that sentence every morning before you start your first important action. This tiny ritual can completely change how you experience discipline. Kata is a structured form practiced over and over in Japanese arts, like martial arts, tea ceremony, and calligraphy. The idea is to repeat the same sequence so many times that the body can execute it almost without conscious thought. Mastery is built through form, not random improvisation. When you turn your habits into a kind of daily kata, you stop reinventing your routine each time. You decide the form once, the order, the duration, the tools, and then simply repeat. This repetition makes the action smoother, faster, and less stressful over time. Your goal is not to have a different, perfect routine each week, but to let one simple form become part of who you are. The more you repeat your kata, the less effort it takes to begin. At some point, it feels more uncomfortable to skip it than to just do it. If these Japanese discipline rules gave you at least one idea you can apply today, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs more consistency in life. That simple action helps this content reach more people and keeps you surrounded by a community that is also building disciplined habits.